Welcome back to Discovery Studios, my very own custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2 that I have been building for many months with loads of different themed areas based on real life things such as PlayStation games, in which recently we've made a Little Big Planet roller coaster that defies the laws of what a normal roller coaster should probably do and ascends this huge vertical launch into a full-blown layout that looks like a spaghetti bowl if you put it vertical. And with me having designed this ride and themed it in the previous episode, today I want to make sure we finish this coaster, well, for the most part anyway, and work a lot on the surrounding area, which does actually include the addition of another ride in that land. Be sure you watch till the end because I'll be giving you a full tour on everything we've worked on, and I will also be announcing the next themed area, which you guys get to decide. More on that later, and you don't want to miss when I build that, so be sure you subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss that in the future, because technically that will be the final themed area in Discovery Studios. I know we've come so far with this project and it's kind of dragged on quite a lot more than I thought it would, but we're still going and we've got that final land to do after this one, and technically we've got to go back to the Pokemon area and finish that big dark ride because I still haven't done that yet. But welcome back to episode 21 of this series. Of course, if you haven't watched Discovery Studios before, you've got 20 episodes to catch up on. Get catching up! But of course, over the months that I have been building this project, we've managed to build 5 different themed lands. We started with the Formula 1 area, which feels like years ago, but also feels like yesterday. We had the Wallace and Gromit land, DEFCON 1, Pokemon, which we're obviously going back to, and now the PlayStation land, which, again, if you've seen nothing, which I definitely recommend you go and check out the playlist, we've made this into like 4 subsections in a way. So it's one themed land, but there's 4 different themed areas within it, if that makes any sense to you at all. So we've got Ratchet and Clank with a dueling roller coaster and a really cool Omni Wrench style flat ride, which I really enjoyed making. You've then got Crash Bandicoot. I almost just said Ratchet and Clank again. Crash Bandicoot, which has this amazing, weird, it's almost multi-dimension coaster in a way, because it gets chased by a boulder, then goes into whitewater river rafting and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a crazy ride. And then we have this extremely crazy ride that is in a massive cardboard box, very toy based, like using the toy pack that they have in the game now, based on Little Big Planet. And yeah, we're completing it in this episode. I know I said in the intro I'm going to complete it for the most part, because, well, I mean, it's the top of the to-do list with this ride. It's probably the only thing on the to-do list now after this episode. It's the most tedious thing, the custom supports. You'll actually see me in a little bit, yeah, literally right now, there you go, going through and putting the normal supports that the game generates on a few of the track pieces, just to sort of get an idea of what that might look like on the bottom section. Obviously, if I went and did that for all the top sections, the supports would just go all the way down to the ground, and a lot of them anyway aren't the greatest generated supports, so I am going to go through and custom support it all. I just don't have the time right now with making all these other videos, and obviously with how big of a project this is. I'll say it again, I don't want to rush this project at all. I want to take my time with it. So yeah, I'm trying my best with the time I've got, and I haven't really managed to do any of those custom supports, so we'll get to that next time. But that's pretty much the only thing there is left to do. Maybe a few things to like touch it up a bit and name the ride, which I'll obviously get onto later. But yeah, we're pretty much there with this coaster, and yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. And we're actually adding another ride to this land, a flat ride that we haven't got in the park yet. We had one in the previous park, not this one, so hopefully that'll be a nice addition. Adding some stickers and decals to the side of the cardboard box, a little barcode at the bottom, why not? Makes it look more sort of like toy based, as if they've bought this roller coaster. Or I know that's not really what Little Big Planet's about, but I guess from an outsider's perspective it might look like that with all the sort of decals and stickers and stuff, but that's just Little Big Planet for you. And then yeah, just adding them along that too. Also, if you haven't seen, talking a bit of Planet Coaster news, I think when this gets released, it's actually been announced a brand new update, a free update that's coming for the game, which is going to be really cool, and it appears to have some arcades and stuff in it, which will be really nice. I might try and add an arcade somewhere in the PlayStation area. I think that would be really cool. Don't know if I'll be able to do that, but it's definitely something we can sort of put into our minds and keep in the back of our minds for the next park when we move on to that, because yeah, I've got an idea for another park. It won't be IP based. I know I say that a lot when I'm talking about the next park and what's coming in the future. The next theme park will not have these real life things like your Formula One or your Little Big Planet and stuff. It won't have anything like that. This has purely been a passion project of mine. I've always wanted to see these games, TV shows, all like the sort of sports made into actual areas and, you know, make them into roller coasters, attractions, dark rides. I've really wanted to do that for so long, since the first game came out and everything like that. It's been really cool doing it for a series, and I know I was planning on making this series only 20 episodes long, and we're now on episode 21 and we haven't even finished a huge dark ride which is going to take probably 1 or 2 episodes, hopefully just the one, not too sure, and also a massive area next door which will take a couple of episodes in itself. So I don't know, maybe there'll be 25 episodes of this series. How about that? We'll take the extra 5. Unless you're getting bored of the series, which I severely hope you're not. But there'll be a new park on its way. Don't you worry. And yeah, putting more decals across the front. Got some like tree stickers again, like I did in the bottom room on the coaster. And then putting these wooden block trees as well. I probably should have spoken about all this when I did it. But why have I decided to put a lake in the center and then put a queue going around the outside? Where's the exit going to be? At this point I didn't even know where the exit was going to be, so we'll jump to that in a bit. But pretty much what I knew I wanted to do was have this viewing area, or this plaza area, when you walk in to the Little Big Planet land. I didn't want it to be right underneath the cardboard box and you could sort of see the fact it is easily 3D and it sort of ruins the immersion of it. So I wanted to keep you quite far back from it. Obviously with the DEF CON area we've got a similar thing where you walk in and you've got this amazing view of the stage behind, and you walk down towards that and you can sort of go down next to it, because the whole point of that is the sense of scale. It's supposed to be huge. This is more to do with the fact I want it to appear 2D, want it to be more immersive, and I don't want that sort of 3D effect that is easily seeable on ride to be ruined off ride. I want that to be a thing you experience when you're on it. So for that reason, if that made any sense, I decided to put the plaza area over a lake away, so you literally can't get close to it. I know in the queue you sort of do get a little bit close, but you go around that outside section and then you can just see the side of the cardboard box where it breaks out in a couple different places. Thought that'd be really nice. And yeah, the exit. At this point, I didn't even think about an exit for the ride. I thought, you know what, you can just go into Oblivion after you've been on it. Not the ride at Alton Towers, but just actual Oblivion. Just never return to Discovery Studios. But that wouldn't be good for the guests, would it? So I had to make an exit somewhere, and we'll do that very, very soon. And I've sort of had the inspiration from the Toy Story Land, the one mainly over in Hollywood Studios in Florida, for a lot of this theming. Because obviously, Little Big Planet has a lot of... It's almost like a toy maker style feel to it, where there's just a lot of random bits and pieces, stickers, decals everywhere, and it makes it feel like maybe like a kid or someone has just made all of this in, like, I don't know, out cardboard, sellotape, all that sort of stuff. And that's why I'm putting these paintbrushes and everything all around, because I feel like it gives that Little Big Planet effect, whilst also making it feel a little bit more normal. Because if we went full Little Big Planet, I don't know how it would. I don't know how it would fully go into this entire theme park. It would just look so unrealistic. Which I know a lot of you have been commenting saying, you know, it does look realistic. You just need those custom supports. Which again, I really appreciate all the criticism, whether it be constructive or whatever you think of this park. I appreciate those comments. But I've really wanted to make this park as realistic as possible, and the budget. Definitely not realistic for real life for some of these areas. Definitely not. Hundreds of millions would have been spent on this park, which I'll take for this. Maybe the next park will have more of a realistic budget, who knows. But yeah, I really wanted to make it as realistic as possible, whilst also keeping it toy-esque, like Little Big Planet. But here we go. A flat ride going in this corner. So I realised the pathway that goes into the final area in the PlayStation Land, that was really sort of outwards, and it was sort of coming into the Little Big Planet land. And I thought, I have so much space, why don't I just reroute that pathway? And why not put a flat ride where that pathway was before? So you can see where I've sort of cut the pathway back and kept it along the sort of main edge of where the Wallace and Gromit land actually is, which is crazy. It feels like that was done ages ago. And now I've built this flat ride right here. I tried to turn it round and then I thought, oh no, you know what? I like the fact you'll be able to see it going from side to side. And there was no real sort of theme for this. And I mean, you've got like a Sackboy Adventure style game that now exists on PS5 or whatever. Don't know when that came out, but I'd actually never heard of it before researching this area. But you've got stuff like that, and obviously Little Big Planet games, there's multiple levels that people create. Could we base this off of one of those levels maybe? I've just gone for a generic sort of toy look to it, but if you have any ideas of a name or what to theme this to, please do let me know in the comments. I'd love to see your sort of suggestions. Little Big Planet's such a broad game. Like Crash Bandicoot, you've got those famous scenes, like you have that Boulder Dash segment, or I don't know, like the water raft flying, whatever. Like there's so many different things that are so iconic in that game. Ratchet and Clank obviously being Ratchet and Clank with the Omni Wrench. Easy. Little Big Planet, it's basically like trying to build, in a way, a Minecraft ride, which I know a certain theme park in the UK is currently doing, but they could pick a million different storylines for that, because there are so many ways about going about Minecraft if you were to make it in real life. So I think it's the same thing here. There's just so much you can do, and I've gone for just that sort of generic toy look, which I think really does work, especially for Little Big Planet. I guess we're just making our own levels, aren't we, really? The rides and attractions in this area, the restaurants, the exit pathways, all a separate level of Little Big Planet. Wow. I should be an Imagineer at this point. But yes, I thought I time-lapsed it, but obviously not. I made the exit pathway, so you've got that queue line that goes around the right-hand side. If you're looking directly at the cardboard box, goes around that right-hand side, and I've made the exit come out of like a cave sort of tunnel. Again, could be another level over from the left. And yeah, that looks quite nice. And then I've made this seating area that you just saw for a split second. Again, we'll go into it in real time properly, but just like a restaurant and eatery right there, because we don't have too many of them in the park. Thought I'd make a nice little semi-outdoor one for this land, especially because it's so like colourful and stuff. It just feels like it has to be outside, you know. And then yeah, there's the backdrop. Just a very simple looking ride, nothing too special, just suits the vibe of the area. It'll be quite fun to actually like put an area backing onto this and try and hide it all, because especially how tall the cardboard box is, I might have to dig the next area into the ground quite a lot. But as I will go into more later on in real time, this will house the final thrill coaster in the park. Yes, it's still worth sticking around though. I know a lot of you guys do like the thrill coasters and stuff. Obviously we have technically just built a massive thrill coaster in this area, but it's not too thrilling, even though it's got a massive vertical launch and loads of inversions, so maybe it is thrilling. But we're building a small little flat ride here. That's family. We've built many family rides in the past. We're going to build another thrill coaster, so I hope you guys do enjoy that. I've got an idea for it, but it all depends on the theme that you guys choose, which we'll get into more of in real time, because I'm going to go into that right now. And here I am in real time. As you can see, I'm actually in unpaused mode, and the frame rate isn't actually awful, although I've definitely almost certainly jinxed that now, here in Discovery Studios in the PlayStation themed land. And the reason for the frame rate, once again, I didn't get to talk about it too much. That's because I've actually upgraded some of my computer now, somehow managed to rebuild it myself without it blowing up, and I think it's all a little bit more stable now, so hopefully we should get some better performance in this land and theme park. As this guy, oh look, he's so happy about the PC upgrade. But we're standing in the PlayStation logo pathway. If you didn't know, that's what this is supposed to be, which is why it's so weirdly laid out. Ratchet and Clank to the left, Crash Bandicoot straight ahead to the left a little bit, and then we have this pathway here, which is where we're going to walk for Little Big Planet. So let's just walk into here, and as you can see, it's sort of, the rocks changed to look a little bit more molded. It's like they're sort of clay now instead, but yeah, you can see that as you go along into the more toy-esque area with all the toy trees, and then there's the coaster running in the background. Yeah, maybe I'll have to cut down a few of the trees and stuff. I don't know why I said cut down. It feels like it's real life at that point. Might have to take away a few of the trees and stuff so you can see it a little bit more. But yeah, that's the sort of view you get from over here of the entire ride over the lake. And I do think it looks really, really nice. And you can see it sort of traversing that section there. And then obviously the underneath in the forest, where you can see a few of those supports, which will give you an idea of what it might look like a little bit more up there. But yeah, it's probably going to be a bit more cluttered, but it looks more realistic, so I don't care. Behind us is that nice seating area that I spoke about with the little restaurant over here that you do have a little queue for. So again, if you have any suggestions for what we could call this, then do leave them in the comments. Forgot to mention this little seating area as well as you walk into the area, along with a tiny little shop. That's the exit only pathway as we come to the right hand side and go and check out the ride entrance for the main coaster, and also this tiny little ride here. Now, of course, do ignore Tottington Hall, which is currently, you can just see the deconstructed back of it. It's pretty much incomplete because of that pathway that's going to be going behind. You can see how close this is going to run next to this queue. Yeah, I'm going to sort it out in the next one, I promise. But once you've been in that queue, you can get on the doodle magic carpet, as we'll call it. Obviously, those doodly sort of scribbles, supposed to make it look like a tree when it's stationary like that. Oh, perfect timing, as the magic carpet itself goes round. And yeah, it's just a very simple looking toy magic carpet in a way, which again, if you have a storyline or sort of like a way you want me to, I don't know, theme this otherwise, leave your ideas in the comments, because I'm sure there is some cool storyline that you guys can think of. And yeah, just Little Big Planet's such a broad game. I don't even know where to start. But here we are, a very similar sort of entrance to the other two major coasters in those major lands, where we're going to have the name of the ride, probably Little Big Planet or Sackboy something, I don't know. One of those sort of names would be great. On that wooden block to the right, as then you go into the main entrance down here. And as you can see, as you walk down, you get some really cool views of the entire cardboard box, covered in decals and stickers. And yeah, you just continue walking down with all these sort of toy block trees. And then you make your way into the queue line. Yeah, I just think the sense of scale that you get from this side of the cardboard box. It wasn't actually supposed to be a big pointer for how big this cardboard box is, but I really do like the fact you can see it from the side like this. It is really, really nice. Got the big barcode there in the corner. I don't know if you scan that, whether it'll, I don't know, club card accepted. Then you've got this really cool section here as it breaks out from the cardboard and comes out into the outside for a little turn before it heads back into the box again. Going back into the station, there you go. That was really fast. Why does that look so much faster than I remember? And then yeah, you come to this little side door and you enter into the queue inside, which basically just takes you up to the station, which we are going up into now. And as you can see, it's a very simple station, because the main sort of, I don't know, hub on the game, I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. The main sort of hub that you start the game in, you are just in this cardboard box. It's got loads of tape and stuff around, but then there's also a controller and Sackboy, and then there's stars everywhere because you're in space. So with that being said, it made sense to make that the actual coaster station, and also the pre-show that you go round into as well, which you'll see when we hop on ride right now. Enjoy!
When you visit Little Big Planet, you become your true and pure self. Take a run and jump, why don't you? You do it by pressing the action button. Marvelous. Now, I know you're eager to get stuck into all this, but please remember the ethos of the Imagisphere. Create and share, and above all, have fun. Do you see? We'd like to say no little sack person is harmed during the playing of Little Big Planet. We'd like to say that. We say farewell to our brave band of friends. This Little Big Planet.
And then yeah, you exit out along this pathway along the other side of the lake. You can literally see through this fence very far off in the distance if I jump that queue line that we started off in. But yeah, the cardboard box. You've just been on that. Wow! Obviously those custom supports are still yet to come, but I'll be doing them off camera because they'll be very tedious, and you'll be able to see it in its final form when we do that final tour of the park, because I think this place is going to take quite some time to tour fully when we complete it. So with that being said, that leaves the final plot of land, which you can find right here, as we're going to head right out of this pathway here, all the way down past the back of Tottington Hall, which will obviously be made up into something proper, be able to join up with the pathway from the Wallace and Gromit land, and we're actually going to work that into the entire area over here, which will have a huge thrill coaster and hopefully maybe one or two other rides to finish off the PlayStation land. And that's the thing, I have seen so many comments from you guys asking for so many different final themed areas within this land. And if you remember when I first started building this land, the 4 original games I had in mind, 2 of them fell through. Little Big Planet was obviously one that I then thought of and thought, oh my god, that will be amazing, and it turned out really well. But I need your guys' help to decide what that final area should be. So I'll be looking in the comments of this video to see what sort of suggestions you guys have for games in this land, and then the top 3 games that you guys pick from the PlayStation franchise, I will then take a sort of environment or some inspiration from that game and then put a poll out on my community tab to then fully decide what area we're going to build for the final little plot of land within the PlayStation area. Lots of different areas, I keep saying. I'll be reading through all the comments very, very soon, and we will move on to that final thrill coaster in the next episode, coming also very soon. Leave a like if you enjoyed the Little Big Planet coaster, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!